Good evening. My name is Joshua Friedman. I am a current 8th grader at Providence Day School and co-leader of the UMatter Club in the middle school. I joined UMatter because I think it is necessary to have a safe space where teenagers can go and talk about their emotions and create a support system for each other. I am here tonight to introduce you to our next speaker, Eric Lerner. He graduated from Charlotte's Country Day School and the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. 26 years ago, he started printing t-shirts out of an apartment. Currently, he employs 20 people at Action Plus Ideas, one of the largest promotional product companies in Charlotte. In his free time, he enjoys skiing, sailing, and traveling with his wife, Susan. Let's give a warm welcome to Eric Lerner.
Thank you, Josh. I'm actually speechless. I'm going to sit down. Chuck Glick said he's going to record this because he has a horrible case of insomnia. So hopefully this will help. Thank you, Josh. Tasha, David, and Skylar, thank you for sharing your inspiring stories. I guess I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank the Selkin family for providing the space and the money for what we have here. Sky, you and your family are truly amazing. 9 months after my father was killed in a car accident, I was 20 years old, struggling with depression, and at the University of Pennsylvania. I visited David Burns, the psychiatrist and the author of Feeling Good, and he told me I wasn't just suffering from depression, I had a chronic, lifelong, and disabling illness called bipolar disorder. Dr. Burns told me at the time that I would need to take medication. I asked for how long, maybe 30 days? And he said, no, the rest of my life. Bipolar disorder is a debilitating mental illness, and I have it. Nearly 50% of people with bipolar disorder attempt suicide. 25% of them are successful. Most people of these people we simply don't know. We find out if they are prominent people like Robin Williams, or Kate Spade, or Anthony Bourdain. For those who have never experienced depression, I cannot describe the crippling effects and the total loss of energy it has on me. I lose interest in everything, and I understand that desire by so many people to make all those feelings simply go away. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among Americans 15 to 24 after accidents. In fact, 3 times as many people die from suicide as all types of cancer. The struggle of depression is real, devastating, and unfortunately often deadly. 27 years ago, in 1992, I returned to Charlotte after working for Accenture and Jones Lang LaSalle. I was 24, single, and deeply depressed. My family checked me into the psych ward at Presbyterian Hospital, that 12th floor that no one talks about. Surprisingly, the psych ward was filled with all sorts of professionals, from nurses to lawyers to even doctors. Half the people there had attempted suicide. That was incredibly shocking and disturbing to me. As I mentioned, bipolar disorder is an incurable disease, and I have suffered mostly anonymously for over the past 30 years. Fortunately, I have had many years of stability over the past 30 years, but the past 2 years, I have suffered from severe and debilitating depression. For those of us who suffer depression, it is very hard to explain that feeling. It is not sadness. Don't ask me if I'm happy. I'm depressed. As I mentioned before, at its worst, I feel totally helpless and completely without energy to even get out of bed. I sometimes have the desire to do nothing and can sleep literally a day away in bed. This is simply ironic, as I have a very successful business and a phenomenal family. There's a deep stigma with mental illness, so I, up until this evening, have chosen to remain anonymous. Many days are a struggle. People with mental illness have been called weak. Truthfully, I think they are incredibly strong because I know that struggle and that desire to give up. Like I said, there is no cure for bipolar disorder. In fact, I currently take 4 medications every single day to help regulate my brain chemistry and keep me stable. Unfortunately, right now, it's not keeping me stable. The reason is there's simply not one medication for bipolar disorder. In Charlotte and around the world, in the United States, about 3% of the population has bipolar disorder. So Charlotte's about 1 million people. In Charlotte alone, there are 30,000 people struggling, mostly silently, just like me. Jane Pauley, who has bipolar disorder, spoke about her struggle in Charlotte last year. She said that the #1 factor in recovery is a supportive family. I am blessed to have 3 siblings who are all here today, parents who are here today, 4 wonderful kids, and an absolutely extraordinary wife who is patient and has made my life and my journey easier. Like Jane Pauley, without these people, I simply could not have handled this tremendous and unbearable challenge. Like Jane Pauley, I feel I have been able to lead a very productive life and have had tremendous business success while suffering from mental illness. When you hear mental illness in the news, they are portrayed as crazy and mass murderers. Hopefully, the next time you hear mental illness, you'll picture a dorky guy like me. Due to the tremendous stigma of mental illness, I have shared my diagnosis with very, very few people, including very few people in this room. I have come out with my challenge because I know my life's mission is to help others. Life for people like me can simply be overwhelming. Like I said, there have been many days when I can't get out of bed due to the emotional pain. I simply tell my wife, Susan, I'm just too tired. But truly, I'm just overwhelmed with emotional pain. Of course, when you're mentally ill and in crisis, people don't offer to make you dinner or help out in other ways. Bipolar is one of many debilitating mental illnesses. Others include unipolar depression, anxiety disorders, and many more. I support walks for so many different causes, yet the 20% of us in the US with mental illnesses have so very few walks and fundraisers. Truly, mental illness is very, very underfunded. To help myself and so many others who struggle with bipolar depression, I've decided to start a weekly support group either here in this building or at the JCC. I need a weekly support group for myself and to help others. So many of us struggle silently, but with hope and shared strength, we can live meaningful lives. The weekly support group will start as soon as I get this meeting organized. Ben Cian has agreed to email everyone here so that they can share with others who might be in need. I have left some information pamphlets, about 30, on bipolar in the back of the room. My good friend and Rabbi Ben Cian Groner, is one of my biggest supporters. Against all odds, he fought and beat leukemia. He understands me. Better yet, he and his wife, Rachel, have made it their life's mission to help others through the friendship circle. My wife, Susan, and I are committed to helping Rachel and Ben Cian with people with challenges, and no one helps people with challenges better than the friendship circle. You have envelopes in your chairs. Susan and I will match all gifts tonight up to $5,000. We hope that you can help out with a small gift. Thanks for listening.